my channel. If you're new, thank you for joining us. My name is Amber Stewart. I am the owner of the Stew Project, where I help individuals maximize their living potential by simply taking emphasis on wellness. Now, if you watched my last video, remember that we talked about the top 5 ways people unintentionally block their own progress or self-sabotage their own goals. And those ways included not being completely honest with yourself, not setting realistic goals, not being willing to let go of what no longer serves you, being too emotionally attached to the outcome, and not putting forth the right effort in the right areas of your life. Now, if you want to know more about these 5 topics, I go deep into detail about each roadblock in my last video. And so if you want to check that out, just go into the description box for the link to that. So let's get started. Now, have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, something keeps you from reaching your goals? It's like life keeps lifing, like nothing is always working your way. Well, anywho, today I'm going to reveal the 5 hidden habits that might be holding you back and how my 4-step Stress Alchemy framework can help you break free from them. Now, okay, so meet Lisa. Lisa is a full-time ambitious entrepreneur, full of plans but constantly running into the same roadblocks. She wasn't entirely honest with herself, clung to old routines, set unrealistic goals, and put effort in all the wrong places. She was also too emotionally attached to outcomes, which led to burnout. Now, if any of Lisa's struggles resonate with you, because they did with me at one point, then keep watching, because I'll walk you through how the 4-step Stress Alchemy framework helps you overcome these limiting habits, empowering you to reach your full potential in every area of your life. Now, I have helped countless clients identify these self-sabotaging patterns and transform their lives through actionable, easy to apply techniques. Now, with expertise in stress management and personal development, I'm here to guide you step by step. For years, I worked as a personal trainer, helping people reach their fitness goals in the gym and at home, but I kept noticing that many people weren't reaching them simply because they were using exercise as an escape to sweat out their life problems instead of addressing them at their core. After realizing this, and realizing that I was doing the same thing in a particular area in my life, I developed a simple 4-step Stress Alchemy framework to help me overcome roadblocks in all areas of my life. And now I'm going to show you how it can help you get out of your own way so you can start making forward movement in your life that you can be proud of. Okay, so the first step in the Stress Alchemy framework is get your mind right. This step is all about mental clarity and mindset. Now, many of us hold ourselves back by not being honest with ourselves or about what's really holding us back. This could be self-doubt, fear of failure, or even a lack of confidence. And so by getting your mind right, getting a reality check, just checking in with yourself mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, you will be able to learn to identify these thoughts and replace them with the mindset that's more aligned with your goals. For example, if you're not being truthful with yourself about your weaknesses, you might avoid working on them. But when you get your mind right, you start being honest about these areas and tackle them head on. So here are some questions you can ask yourself to get out of your own way if you are in the same situation as Lucy. And keep in mind, these questions can be applicable in any area of your life. So for the first topic, if you're not being completely honest with yourself or not setting realistic goals, you can ask yourself, can you restructure your goals so that they allow more wiggle room? If you're not really willing to let go of what no longer serves you, you can ask yourself, is obtaining my goal more important than holding on to XYZ? If you're being too emotionally attached to the outcome, you can ask yourself, why am I so attached to this outcome? Will I lose anything important if I release my attachment to this outcome? And so not putting forth effort in the right areas of your life, you can just analyze the situation and check to see if there is a better approach to your problem that will get you better results with less effort. And even still, what will happen is you can activate that particular activating system in your brain that will help you find the answer or have your intuition work for you in the background. But if you're too emotional about a situation, you can ask, why is it important for me to make a change, and why am I resistant to it? Or why am I avoiding this change? Now, the second step to my Stress Alchemy framework is drop the baggage, because sometimes we're resistant to change, but once we're able to, we have to drop it. And often we hold on to past beliefs, emotional baggage, relationships, or even jobs that no longer serve us. And this is where being willing to let go becomes so important, because if we're clinging on to old fears or toxic influences, they'll just weigh us down. You know, maybe you're too emotionally attached to a particular outcome and it's causing unnecessary stress and pressure in your life. But, you know, by dropping this baggage, you free yourself from your expectations, allowing you to focus on the process and enjoy the journey. So you don't put all your eggs in a basket and make it life or death, but you realize the importance of it and you still move forward. But if you're not completely honest with yourself, reflecting deeply and asking the right questions can help you recognize and release the baggage that's holding you back. And here are some powerful questions to consider. What am I avoiding acknowledging about this person, situation, or health issue? How do I truly feel when I think about this, and why? In what ways has holding on to this situation or thought process or person affected my emotional or mental state? And what beliefs am I clinging to that might be distorting my perception about reality? That's a deep one. And am I afraid of what might change if I let go of these beliefs or emotions? What am I gaining by holding on to this baggage? Is it a familiarity thing, a sense of control, avoidance of discomfort? You can also ask yourself, how does holding on to this situation align with or oppose my core values and goals? What potential consequences of continuing to avoid addressing this honestly am I allowing to proceed in my life? Now, what would my life look like if I release this baggage and move forward? What specific steps can I take to start letting go and moving on? And lastly, am I being kind and compassionate with myself as I confront these truths? And here's a bonus. Who can I reach out to for support or a perspective as I work through this that I can trust? Now, reflecting on these questions can help clarify your emotions and guide you toward action that supports your goals and well-being. Now, I know the next one that holds people back would be not setting realistic goals. So here are 5 questions that you can ask to help determine if you're not setting realistic goals. Are my expectations based on where I am now, or are they influenced by comparisons to others? Have I clearly defined what success means to me, or am I chasing vague or unrealistic outcomes? Am I constantly feeling overwhelmed or discouraged when thinking about my goals? Have I broken down my larger goals into smaller, manageable steps, or do they feel too big to tackle? Am I setting timelines that are achievable, or do I often feel rushed and stressed trying to meet them? These questions can help identify if goals need adjustment to be more realistic and achievable. Now, if you're not willing to let go of what no longer serves you, you can ask yourself, what am I afraid will happen if I let go of this? How is holding on to this benefiting me, and is it worth Is it worth the cost to my well-being and progress? Am I clinging to this out of comfort and familiarity, or is it truly contributing to my growth? What would I gain emotionally, mentally, or physically if I release this and moved forward? If I continue to hold on to this, where do I see myself in a year or 5 years? Will I be closer to my goals or further away? Now, if you're being too emotionally attached to the outcome, you can ask yourself, am I overly focused on the end result rather than enjoying or learning from the process? And remember, these are self-sabotaging, so you don't know that you have these issues. So another question you can ask yourself is, do I find myself feeling anxious, frustrated, or defeated when things don't go as planned? Am I constantly worrying about the what ifs or potential failures more than celebrating small successes? Am I basing my self-worth or happiness solely on achieving this particular goal? Do I struggle to pivot or adapt when faced with unexpected challenges or changes in my plan? Now, these questions can help bring awareness to emotional attachments that may hinder progress and open the doors to healthier approaches. Now, the next self-sabotaging habit is not putting forth effort in the right areas of your life. And to overcome this particular behavior, you can ask yourself, am I clear on what my top priorities and long-term goals are? Because without clear goals, it's easy to put forth effort in the wrong areas. You can also ask, where am I spending most of my time and energy, and is it aligned with what I value most? By assessing how your actions align with your values and goals can reveal misalignment. You can ask yourself, what tasks or activities do I do out of habit that might not contribute to my goals? And so by identifying these habits that don't serve you, you can help redirect the effort where it's needed. And you can also ask, am I avoiding certain tasks or challenges because they are difficult or uncomfortable, even though they are essential for progress? That last part is a little important. Now, I know effort can sometimes be misdirected due to avoidance, but necessary challenging actions. And you can also ask yourself, do I have a system or plan in place to measure progress and stay accountable? And so without tracking progress, it's hard to know if your efforts are leading you towards your goals. And so reflecting on these questions can help identify gaps and realign your focus. And so dropping baggage isn't always easy, but once you do, it opens you up so much space for new opportunities. Now, the third step in my Stress Alchemy framework is to set your FABS foundation. This foundation is essential for supporting and sustaining your goals. So with faith, having faith in yourself and your journey helps you stay grounded even when things get tough. And affirmations, these reinforce positive beliefs that align with your goals. Boundaries, these are healthy limits that you set in place that make sure you're not overstretching yourself. And the self-talk is what you monitor how you speak to yourself and encouraging yourself instead of criticizing. And lastly, the shift forward strategy. This is about constantly adjusting and moving forward, even if it's a small step. And so an example for this is, even if your goals are unrealistic, setting the right boundaries and self-talk can help you recalibrate these goals. And the shift forward strategy can help you stay adaptable and take action that feels achievable and aligned with your goals. And so we are going to break down why setting a strong FABS foundation with your faith, your affirmations, your boundaries, your self-talk, and a shift forward strategy can help you overcome some of the most common self-sabotaging habits. First, let's define what the FABS stands for. And so faith is having trust in your process, yourself, and something bigger than you. And affirmations, these are positive reinforcing statements that help you guide your mindset. Now, boundaries are setting limits to protect your time, energy, and mental well-being. And self-talk is the way you speak to yourself, which shapes your beliefs. Now, the shift forward strategy is something that a plan for moving forward on constructively when setbacks happen. And in my coaching program, I give my clients a PANDA planning checklist to help them with this. First up, not being honest with yourself. Without honesty, you can't accurately evaluate where you are or where you need. So with faith, that helps you trust that being truthful with yourself, even when it's hard, is worthwhile. And so the affirmations reinforce the belief that you can handle the truth no matter what it reveals. And so you can also remind yourself with the affirmation by saying something like, I am brave enough to see my reality and strong enough to change it. When you dream too big without a plan or set expectations that are impossible to meet, failure becomes inevitable. Boundaries come into play here, learning to set realistic limits on what you can achieve within a certain time frame. And so your self-talk ensures that you're not constantly criticizing yourself for not meeting overly ambitious expectations. So you have to shift your mindset to, I set meaningful, achievable goals that propel me forward step by step. And so, ooh, child, honey, hold on now. If you have a habit of holding on to things that no longer serve you, whether it's toxic relationships, unproductive habits, or just outdated goals, boundaries can help empower you to release these things, while faith helps you trust that letting go opens up space for growth. And now affirmations will help you stay focused on forward progress when your self-talk is reverting back to old negative habits. And so you can remember this affirmation: I release what holds me back and embrace what moves me forward. Now, if you are being too emotionally attached to the outcome, this can lead to anxiety and a fear of failure. And in my FAPS Foundation, the Shift Forward strategy teaches you how to adapt and keep moving forward after setbacks. And with faith, you learn to trust the process, knowing that even if the outcome isn't what you expected, there's something valuable in the journey. And so you can try an affirmation by saying, I am flexible in my journey and trust that every step has value. And typically you see the silver lining at the end of the tunnel. What does it say? Hindsight 2020. Now, if you are not putting forth effort in the right areas of your life, you can work tirelessly and not make progress if your effort is misaligned. And so this is where self-talk is vital. Positive and constructive self-talk reminds you to refocus when needed. And so affirmations like, I am focused and intentional with my efforts, can steer you back on track. Oh, and don't forget, the Shift Forward strategy ensures that if you do find yourself off course, you can pivot and realign your goals without beating yourself up. And so I do offer my clients a very helpful PANDA planning checklist that helps them keep their life organized and prioritized with ease. And I will give you info on how you can get your hands on a free copy of that checklist at the end of my video. So stay tuned until the end. So there you have it. The power of the FAPS Foundation in overcoming self-sabotaging habits. And by nurturing faith, using affirmations, setting boundaries, and practicing positive self-talk and employing a effective shift forward strategy, you build a solid framework for growth and success. Okay, so finally, keep the wheels rolling. This step is all about building consistency and resilience, because it's easy to start strong, but staying consistent is often the biggest challenge. And by establishing routines and reviewing your progress, you'll prevent stagnation and keep yourself motivated. And a good example of this is if you're not putting enough effort. This step helps you to commit a sustainable routine. By keeping the wheels rolling, you build momentum and make sure you're actively working towards your goals each day instead of letting them slip by because I don't feel like it, I feel bad. And so this is where the Panda Planning Checklist comes in, and that FAMS Foundation, because the average person 6 weeks to fully adopt a new habit and let go of an old one that has been set on autopilot for years. So without the right systems in place, you can very easily revert back to your old habits and be confused as to why it's so hard for you to change or to move forward or to reach your goals. And so here's the bonus tip. Consistency also helps detach from specific outcomes because you're focused on the journey, not just the destination. And it will be so much easier to just get up and go instead of just focusing on when you feel like it or the time is not right. So anywho, there you have it. Those are the 4 steps to my Stress Alchemy framework that can help you overcome the biggest roadblocks to your success. And whether you're struggling with unrealistic goals, emotional attachments, or you just need a better strategy to stay motivated, these steps give you a structured way to break through and make real progress. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you want access to those resources I was talking about, the Panda Planning Checklist and the FAMS Foundation worksheet, then feel free to sign up for my free 7-day Healthier, Happier Challenge. In it, I will guide you through the Stress Alchemy framework and show you how to turn your greatest stressors into your biggest breakthroughs in any area of your life. Honestly, it's just a mini free version of my coaching program. And so if you want to test it out, the link is in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, progress starts with clarity, courage, and consistency. I will see you next time, and I hope this helps. Take care.